Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a minute since I made a video. I last filmed when I was 5 weeks, and tomorrow I'm going to be 9 weeks. That is crazy, it's going so fast. If you have not subscribed yet, please take a second to do so, and also like this video and leave a comment. I'm always interested to hear what people think of these videos. I just wanted to give you a quick update on how I've been feeling and on the pregnancy in general. The last 3 weeks have been miserable overall. So I have been nauseous every day for the last 3 weeks. I still have not thrown up. That is my blessing in pregnancy, is I actually don't get very bad morning sickness. I've felt awful, but throwing up is like the worst. So I've kept that from happening. So that's good. But right around 6 weeks, right at 6 weeks actually, it was like 6 weeks in one day, I just started getting the worst nausea. And it lasted over half the day. So from the time I would get up, I would start snacking on some dry Cheerios, and then after breakfast, that's when it really hit me. Like, I had to have food in my stomach, but then once I put too much food in my stomach, then it would make me more nauseous. So that was fun. So that lasted for a solid week and a half, the whole morning until about 3 in the afternoon, and then I would start to feel okay, and so I was actually able to enjoy dinner. So that lasted until about 7.5 weeks, and then around 7.5 weeks, it flipped to the afternoons, and so the afternoon and evening, I would just be miserable. So, I mean, I guess that's kind of good, because during the day is when I would have to be, you know, taking care of the kids. But my parents were here during the worst of that. So they were here for a full week, right in the middle of the worst of it. So that really, really helped. I was able to get a couple extra naps in, and they were there to kind of keep the kids occupied. And that's really the worst of it in subsequent pregnancies, because for the first pregnancy, like, you can do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. You can just take all the naps you need and lay around if you need to. But now I am, you know, the sole caretaker during the day of my 2 little kids. I have an almost 3-year-old girl, she'll be 3 in December, and I have a 1-year-old boy who just started walking. So yeah, it is, it's very interesting during the day trying to keep them occupied and take care of myself at the same time. So, but yeah, my parents were here, so that really, really helped. They were heroes and saved my life during that time. Today is kind of the first day that I don't have a headache. So for the last 3 weeks, I've had a headache constantly. It's been worse some days and a little better other days, but it's constantly been there. And it has not responded to medicine. I think that part of that is with all the nausea, I was not able to drink coffee at all. And I'm used to having a little bit of caffeine. During pregnancy, I didn't with my first pregnancy, because I was like, you know, by the book, perfect, like nothing that could possibly harm the baby kind of thing. And then, but they say that you can have 200 milligrams of caffeine a day when you're pregnant. And so I would have, with the second pregnancy, and then my plan with this one is half a cup of coffee in the morning and half a cup in the afternoon. And that keeps me well under the like recommended limit. But in the last 3 weeks, I have not wanted coffee. I want it for the caffeine because I'm exhausted all the time and I have a headache, but my stomach couldn't handle it. And so, like, the smell, the taste, everything, I didn't want it. So I've tried to drink green tea here and there to like get a little boost of energy, and that has helped. But yeah, living without caffeine when you're taking care of 2 little people and you have pregnancy fatigue is not fun. So yeah, the fatigue is there too. I could nap every day. I could go to bed. Last night, I think I went to sleep at like 9:20. I'm just exhausted. And I'm also out of breath. I don't know if you can tell. I'm sure you can. Even talking like gets me so out of breath. I think it's the increased blood volume, because I've also felt my heart racing more, like it's pumping harder. And so I think that that's what it is, like causing that too. So it feels like I'm exercising all the time, even if I'm just walking or talking. That's like a full-blown workout for me. So yesterday, I did something foolish. I decided, okay, I'm going to wear the kids out. I'm going to take them on a walk right before nap time. And so we all went. Anne has enjoyed walking on her own recently instead of sitting in the stroller, which is great. But yesterday I decided to take the single stroller so Owen could ride in the single stroller and then she could walk. So we walked all the way to the park, which isn't very, very far. It's just around the corner from our house. So we walked over there, we played there for a little while, and then we kept walking, and it was hot out. I mean, it was only 75, so sorry for all of you who live in the desert or, you know, somewhere else that it's actually hot, but it was warm for what we were doing. We were all wearing pants because 75 sounds like it's going to be nice and cool. So we actually started with long sleeves, and I got out to the garage and I was like, nope, this is not going to work. So I changed all of our shirts before we went, but the pants were still too much. So yeah, by the time that we had walked for a little while, Anne's face was all red. I was hot. Owen was fine because he was sitting in the stroller. Anne got tired after a little while after we left the park, and we were about a block and a half away from our house still. And so I had to carry her because she was so tired. She had to get in the stroller, which was so sad because she couldn't. I only had the single stroller instead of the double. So I am never leaving the house again by myself without the double stroller. I don't care what we're doing or, you know, if I think she's gonna walk the whole way, because she's not even 3. She's got short little legs. So to keep up, she has to work a lot harder. I had to carry her a block and a half all the way home while pushing the stroller and being 9 weeks pregnant. It was fun. I've also been starving lately. So yesterday, I don't even want to tell you what I ate, but I had 2 large snacks along with my 3 solid meals. So I want to blame it on the nausea, like, oh, I'm keeping the nausea at bay. But really, I'm just hungry. I'm going to blow up if I keep with these habits. Also, ramen is like the only thing that sounds good ever, well, when I'm feeling nauseous. So lunchtime is probably like the worst of the nausea in general over the last few weeks. And so every day I'm like, oh, I won't eat ramen today. I'm gonna eat something healthier. I'm gonna like eat a salad for lunch. And then by lunchtime, I'm like, oh, nothing sounds good. But yesterday I made it through a whole day without any ramen. I had eggs instead when I really was needing something in the late morning. I was really proud of myself, but I want to eat something more nutritious, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So thank you to all of you who commented on my Facebook post and told me to eat the ramen, because I want to eat the ramen, but I feel so guilty about it because this poor baby is gonna grow up craving horrible things. So we also, this pregnancy, so it could have gone either way. I suggested, hey, we could, you know, not find out the gender because we already have boy stuff and girl stuff. Like with the last 2, we wanted to be prepared and, you know, have the stuff ready. This time we already have both genders things. So I was like, hey, we could just not find out. And Jared was like, oh man, that'll be hard. I don't want to like get my heart set on one. Because you kind of, even though you know that it's a 50-50 chance, you kind of start leaning toward one way. Even by 20 weeks, like with Anne, I really thought she was a boy, and I was so surprised to find out that she was a girl. It's so interesting how you work that way. So we decided to go the other route and find out even earlier. So there's this thing called sneak peek where I take a sample of my own blood, and apparently if you're having a boy, there will be male DNA in my bloodstream, which is so crazy to me. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how this works. This is just how I understand it. And so you take a little blood sample, like you prick your finger and take a blood sample, and then you mail it in, and then they look for the male DNA in your blood. And if there's no male DNA present, then they say it's a girl. If there is, then they say it's a boy. The problem is that if you live with any males, which I do, if there's anything, like anything in the bathroom where you're doing the test, or like under your fingernails, like if there's any contamination whatsoever of male DNA, then it will see that and it will think that you're having a boy. So if it says I'm having a girl, we will know for sure. If it says I'm having a boy, we'll probably second guess it until we get the 20-week ultrasound. We'll see. But we decided to do that. So I just ordered it yesterday and it should be arriving in a week, and then we will have the results hopefully about a week after that. So in about 2 weeks, at 11 weeks, we should know the gender. We might keep it secret just because we're not sure how much we can trust this test. We'll see. I don't know. I'll let you guys know what we decide. But you'll know by 20 weeks. We do always announce the gender when we know for sure. But yeah, I think it'll just be fun and kind of a fun experience for the last pregnancy to know a little bit sooner. Plus, like I said in my last video, we are just impatient people. We want to know things right away, and we want to share things right away. So we'll see how long we're able to keep any secrets from you guys, because that's just who we are. We like to share our lives. I've also felt really bloated, which is very normal in early pregnancy. I just saw a term the other day. I'm in a couple of pregnancy groups, and somebody used the term blump because it's like a baby bump, but it's really bloat. My bump is getting more real now. Last night, though, by the end of the day, I looked like I was 4 months pregnant. It was ridiculous. That was the first time that I really felt that way this pregnancy. With my last pregnancies, it really happened a lot earlier. That kind of thing, like the extra bloat. But I haven't been as bloated. I don't really know why, because I've been eating horribly. It's early in the day, so it's actually the real bump right now. So yeah, let me give you a quick look at the little mini bump. So there's the bump. It's teeny right now, but it's coming. I'm already in my maternity pants, mostly because of the bloating. My regular jeans just do not feel good at all. But it's a little bitty bump. It's coming. I always show super early. I always have, even with my first pregnancy, and now it's the third one, so usually subsequent pregnancies always show more, so, or sooner rather. So yeah, there it is. Now you see it. It's only getting bigger. We just saw the second trash truck, which is super exciting. Owen missed it because he's taking his nap, but we got to see it, huh? I did have my first doctor's appointment 3 days ago, and everything looks good. And I asked her at the end of the appointment, so I know that it's early, but do you think that we could try using the Doppler? And she's like, yeah, definitely, let's give it a shot, as long as you promise not to be stressed, because, you know, I was only 8.5 weeks, so that's super, super early. That's like the very earliest that you could possibly hear a heartbeat. And so she was like, as long as you promise not to be stressed if we can't find it, because that'd be totally normal. And so I was like, oh yeah, I know how it works, it's fine. And so she used the Doppler, and it took literally 5 seconds. First she heard my pulse and she was like, okay, that's you. And then she just moved it over a little bit and she found the baby. So the heart rate was at 175, which is perfect. My first ultrasound will be, I have not scheduled it yet, but I got the number now to call to schedule it, and hopefully it'll be just in the next week or so. And I thought with COVID and everything that Jared wouldn't, the trash truck is gone, sweet pea, that Jared wouldn't be able to come to the ultrasound, but it turns out that I have 2 location options. One of them he cannot come, but the other one he can. And so he will be able to come. So we'll need to find a sitter for these 2. And yeah, hopefully we will be able to do that and he will be able to be there, which is awesome. It's a little bit further away. It's about half an hour drive to the location where he is allowed to go in. I love you. But that's okay. That's totally worth it, so that he can be there, because a lot of people aren't able to bring their husbands at all. So he's not allowed to come to any doctor's appointments because of the location. They do COVID testing there, and so they really, really try to keep visitors to a minimum. But he's able to come to the ultrasound. The really fast one is baby. That's little baby. 3. I cried at the doctor's office when she first found it. Because it was the first real indication that the baby was really healthy and strong. So that's my heartbeat, that whooshing. And the little toot, 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 toot. This baby. So I think the placenta has my pulse, and the cord, the umbilical cord, will also read my pulse. So that's why it's so confusing right around baby right now, because all of that stuff is just in a very small space. And so whenever I find one, it's right by the other. Welcome to the world, baby. So I think that is all for today's video. I'm sorry it's been so long. I think that I am on the upswing of the first trimester now, so hopefully I will be a little bit more consistent with my video making. So if there's anything that I did not cover in this video or the previous one that you are interested in or want to know about us, or this pregnancy, just let me know and I will try to cover that in the next video. Again, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.